right. Skill of the day and guitar of the day. This little beauty is a 2014 Taylor. It's a 326 CE-K. It's a fall limited all Koa 326 CE. Koa all the way around. Really pretty, real nice, plays great. Hardly ever play it. It's absolutely like brand spanking new. I don't get it out a lot, but I like it when I do. Fun. Alright, anyway, so I probably should be using a classical guitar instead of a steel string folk style guitar here, but boy, it's so pretty. I just like to look at it and play it. Okay, so hey, the reason I was saying I should probably be playing a nylon string, a classical guitar, is because today we're going to talk about Segovia scales a little bit and get started with those. And so if you don't know who Andres Segovia was, he was a famous classical guitarist and Spanish guitarist that taught himself the guitar in about 20 years and ascended to the top of the field and put together a really famous training manual called Diatonic Major and Minor Scales. And it has a little page of discussion here that I pulled a couple comments out of and I'll read to you. As he put this together, the first part of this talks about the people who came before him on guitar and what they dedicated their time to in terms of instruction. And so he starts out with the thoughtful musician who reviews the history of guitar from its earliest beginnings cannot but be surprised at the lack of a practical system of studies and exercises coordinated in such a way as to permit the faithful student, notice that's faithful student, not lazy student, to progress continuously from the first easy lessons to real mastery of the instrument. That's what he was trying to do here. He's trying to put beginning students and early students on the right path to mastering their instrument. Okay, he goes on and talks a lot about everybody else, but then I want to read a little more of his comments here at the bottom that are more about the scales themselves. He says, "A student who wishes to acquire a firm technique on the guitar should not neglect the patient study of scales. If he practices them 2 hours a day, he'll correct faulty hand positions, gradually increase the strength of the fingers, and prepare the joints for later speed studies." He goes on to say some other things, but he says, "In order to derive the greatest possible benefit from the following exercises, play them slowly and vigorously at first, more lightly and rapidly later. In 1 hour of scales may be condensed many hours of arduous exercises which are frequently futile. Practice of scales enables one to solve a greater number of technical problems in a shorter period of time than the study of any other exercise. Take that under advisement. Do with it what you will." Here's kind of the problem with his scales for beginners. If you start looking at them, they look like this, and there's about 10 pages of that. Okay? It's a little daunting for beginners. And, he goes through, the way he does this, he labels the string that the note is on, but it's in standard notation. There was no guitar tab in 1953 or whenever he put this out. He gives you right hand fingering, he gives you left hand fingering and standard notation and tells you what string to play for that note, as well as giving you 7 combinations of which fingers to play for. So index, middle, back and forth, index, middle, middle, index, the opposite, cadence. These are so small I can barely read them. But ring finger, middle, and middle ring finger, so that's 2. Then he does the index and the ring finger. Then he does the ring finger and the index. And then he does the index and middle again. So 7 trips through each of these scales. And he does these all around the circle fifths, so all the keys. In about 10 pages or so that look like that. But that's not that easy for beginners who are still trying to learn to read music and barely know their instrument, things like that. So I recommend spending, I want to say it's about $8 to buy this exact book, The Segovia Scales, illustrated with standard notation, tablature, and fretboard diagrams. It's by Sean Thrower. I think it's maybe $8 on Amazon or something close to that. Well worth the investment. You'll learn a lot from this book if you go through it. And it also has the benefit of something called showing you the circle of fifths. Okay? If you don't know what that is, we're going to cover it real soon, but it's basically the Rosetta Stone of music theory. All right, it's the decoder ring for music theory. It goes through all the keys, it shows you the key signatures, and it shows you major scales and their relative minor corresponding scale. All right, so he does that for all these. He's got a page that shows all the patterns for all the Segovia scales. That looks overwhelming, right? It's not so bad. And then he goes through and talks about practice tips and things like that. And then for each scale, he gives you a page that looks like this. And I'm not trying to, I don't want to violate copyright and stuff. I just want you to see that what you have is standard notation, and then you have tab, okay, of the notes. So you can learn to read the notes as well as see where they're placed on the fretboard in this instance. Then you have fretboard diagrams for how to ascend the scale and how to descend the scale. Okay? I'm going to give you similar diagrams here on the screen. And but this is really well worth the money if you're going to study scales and practice. Or you can watch my videos. And I'm going to be using the Segovia scales as we do our scale practice too. So let's get started here. So the Segovia C major scale. All right, it's a 2-octave scale. And this one, unlike some of the Segovia scales, ascends and descends through the same path. Okay, the notes that he's using on the fretboard are the same as he goes up through the scale as he comes down. All right. This is a really good one to learn, this particular pattern, the C major pattern, because it's also used for C, and then it's used for D flat, D, and E flat. Okay, and then also on the E major scale, when he does that, he does a 3-octave scale, but this pattern is 2 of those 3 octaves. Okay, so it's 2/3 of the E major. So you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4.5 scales off this one pattern. Okay, so it's reused a lot, and so you want to learn this one really well, and right up front, it's a good one to learn right up front as you're starting to study Segovia scales. It's the best place to start. Okay, this appears twice on the in its complete form on the neck for C major, and on other keys. So when you go to D flat major, you would need to have a guitar with 21 frets to get the top note. When you go to D, you would need a guitar with 22 frets to get the top note, and if you wanted to get to E flat major, you'd need 23, and if you wanted to get to E, you'd need a guitar with 24 frets. Okay, so depending what key you are in, will tell you if you have a complete second pattern up here. Okay, but for us, we're going to just do this down in the pattern that Segovia teaches it in his scale practice, which is starting at the 3rd fret. And this should look kind of familiar to you, by the way. That should look familiar, except when we do Segovia, we're not going to use that pinky to play that. When we get to that B, there's a shift. And I'll show you that in a minute, but it goes up to here and goes to get the upper pattern. Coming down, shift. That's the pattern. Okay. Now I want to point out to you something. This contains the complete octave scale portion of the A form or pattern 4 of the caged 5-chord system, 5-scale pattern system we were looking at. Okay, so this little part I said should look familiar. Okay, that octave comes right out of that other form, and then this octave Well, that comes out of the G form, or pattern 5 of that caged system we were looking at, which actually was a 2-octave pattern. Right, that was the caged pattern. We're just going to use the top octave. We're going to connect those together. I'm not expecting you to play along with this. I'm just trying to let you see how they connect on the fretboard. Okay, we'll practice them in a minute. Okay, so the emphasis with Segovia is on the correct fingering. It's on the smooth shifting through the shift points, both ascending and descending. Okay, now take a look at this, because I was talking about the patterns, and you can see, so in the red here, you see the major scale A form, pattern 4. And for C, that starts at the 3rd fret. And you see in the red dots, I pulled out that octave. And then you can see it mapped on the fretboard, larger fretboard below, where those notes are picked up and they're circled in a red box. Then you see next to that the major scale G form, which is pattern 5. And I've got those in green dots. Very Christmas of me, I might add, since it is December, mid-December. Maybe Santa will bring you a new guitar. And that's circled in a green box. So you can really see how those two pieces of those scale forms are put together to form a 2-octave scale with a shift in the middle. Okay. So now take a look at this. This is the scale with the fingering. Okay. So on some of the other lessons, I was showing the scale degrees as numbers. These are not scale degrees. This is the fingering that you see in the dots on the fretboard. So where it says 2-4, we're talking 2nd finger, 4th finger, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Index, middle, ring, pinky. Okay. Those are fingerings with the number. The scale root notes are circled, okay, with a circle around the dot. And then the triangles, the little gray triangles, those are shift points. Okay, and it means shift into this fingering. So on the ascending scale, when you get up to the 3rd string, here, you're gonna pick up your hand and shift your index finger into that triangle here. Okay. Now, when you come down, the shift is different. So now look at the descending chart, and you will see it comes down. You're on your 1st finger on the root, and now the next thing as you're going down that pattern is to shift your 3rd finger into that triangle. And then continue down. Okay, so that's how those diagrams work. That's not too hard, right? So, that's the Segovia C major. Okay? Now that's not super complicated, but it is super valuable to get those two octaves together, because now you can be playing and hit a note and go. Or if you're in that key, you can just kind of pretty soon see those notes laid out on your fingerboard and use any of those to solo, okay, and know what the notes are and where they are. So that's the Segovia C major scale. Now let's do some scale practice. This is the part that matters. We're going to get your fingers moving. So let's set the metronome about, let's go nice and slow, 72. We're just going to do going through the notes. Okay, I got the metronome set at 72 beats per minute. And we're just going to go through the notes and say them and play them at quarter notes. Okay, so 1 note per click. We're just going to run up and down this pattern saying the notes, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, D, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, do that a couple more times. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. One more. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, one more. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. How'd you do on that? Did you get them? You know, this is going to help you learn the notes on your guitar. Let's do it slow. Okay, so I want to just play the scale and say the notes, just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and slow to start. We're at 60 beats a minute. And we're just going to play the notes. Try to concentrate on making a clean shift at the shift point. Here to here, and here to here. Okay. Let's say the notes. 1 and 2. Ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, shift. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, good. Let's go up to let's go up a little bit. Alright, that's 92. 92 beats a minute. See if you can do it and say them and play them. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Again. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. All right, that's good. That's good. You're going to learn the notes on your neck doing this. and it's going to help you in ways you can't even imagine yet if you're a beginner. I know it seems a little boring. You know, another way to spice these up is to go find a backing track. Go find a C major track. Just go to YouTube, search C major backing track. Pull one up and sit there and noodle on this scale. Let's try it subdividing the beat. Let's do eighth notes. 2 notes per click, counted 1 and 2 and ready, go. And again. Great. Now let's do triplets. You knew it was coming. Triplet, 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 dot 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 dot. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, let's do that again. 1 and a 2 and a ready and a go and a. One of those notes didn't ring too clear, did it? You want to watch that. I'm going to play it clean. If you can't play it clean, slow down or subdivide the beat to a slower so you're not playing as fast. You don't want to make mistakes. You want to practice perfect, okay? If you're not playing it clean, you need to slow down. Even if it's painfully slow to get it right to start, you want to learn these correctly by not making mistakes. Okay, let's do 16th notes, 4 notes per click. How do we count that? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, okay? So here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Again, 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Alright, in case that's a little too fast, you can slow it down. Let's go down to 60 beats a minute, just 12 beats a minute slower, and we'll do our 16th notes at this speed, okay? So 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Okay, how'd you do? Did you get it? All right, let's do some other speeds. Now, as you start to get these, you want to start to work the speed up too. Let's do eighth notes. We're at 80 beats a minute. 1 and 2 and ready, go and. Okay, try to make sure you have good form when you're playing these. You have your thumb behind the neck, not up over it like this. Behind the neck. You want your fingers spread out. You want your wrist dropped. Not so far it's uncomfortable, but maybe but enough of a bend that you get space. You want space between your hand and the neck here. You should be able to stick a broomstick through there or something while you're playing. You want your fingers curled. You want to play on your fingertips. Not flat like this. You don't want to play like this. You want to play like this. Okay? It's important. And this is where you work on those form things, is when you're doing scales and exercises and technical exercises, okay? So make sure you're using good form when you do these. Okay, so let's do it again at, let's go a little faster. So here's what you would really do as you're practicing. Once you get this under your fingers and you know the form, you'd start to work this up. So you play it once at 80, you maybe go up 2 clicks to 88 and go 1 and 2 and ready, go and. go up. 96. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And let's keep going. Let's go to 104. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Keep going. 112. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And let's keep going. We're up to 120. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Let's keep going. Let's do 132. Getting faster now. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And how are you doing? Are you staying with it? If you're not staying with it, back the video up and go down to where I'm playing slower and play up until you make a mistake. When you make a mistake, back the video up and go back and build it up slowly. Those slow reps are really important. Alright, I'm going to keep going up. Here's 144. 1 and 2 and ready, going. Good. Let's go up again. Let's go up to, it's a little bit dim in here for the lighting. 160. 1 and 2 and ready, going. How you doing? Staying up with it? Let's go a little more. This is going to start testing your right hand picking too, somewhere along the way. Here's 176. We're going to do eighth note, so it's 1 and 2 and ready, going. Can you play it clean and pick it clean and get that? If not, okay, you're starting to learn where you break down. Okay, is it your left hand picking? Is it your right hand, your left hand fingering? Is it your right hand picking? Okay, these will come with scale practice and with other technical exercises to work on that. I highly recommend doing daily down picking against a metronome, 3 minutes at whatever speed you can play 3 minutes without making a mistake. And being honest with yourself about what that speed is. Now, as you do that, you'll find out 3 minutes is a long time to sit there going with a metronome. You know, when I first started, about the fastest I could do it, and I was already playing for a long time, was about at 144 with eighth notes going. I could do that for 3 minutes without making a mistake. But if I went any higher, I couldn't hold it for 3 minutes, okay? Over time, I built that up, and pretty soon I could do 160, and now I'm probably up in the 176 area somewhere. You know, I keep working on that. It's a good thing to do, and I highly recommend it. It'll really help your right-hand picking speed. There's other exercises as well, but starting out, man, the scales are so important to do. I wish I would have spent a lot more time on these early in my playing. So, all right. So let's go back a little bit and practice some more, but let's slow it down. Let's slow it down to 80 and just work these up again. So now we're going to ladder. We went up pretty fast, and at some point we hit a level that we made mistakes. So let's just go back down and kind of start over and work our way up again. And this time it's going to go up in increments of one. I'm not going to subdivide the beat or anything here. I'm just going to keep going up one click at a time so you guys have a nice range to practice over. Okay? 1 and 2 and ready, go. And good. Now as you're playing, how's your form? when you finger these notes, are you getting right behind the fret? You want to play right behind the fret, so close that you would almost, if you move forward, start to mute a little bit. But you don't want it to mute, so you want to be just behind the fret. But you don't want to be down here, because now here it buzz. You start to get buzzes. I mean, if you press hard enough, it'll still hold up back there. But it also changes the pitch, and if you put a headstock tuner on there, you may actually be able to see the pitch as you move that finger from directly behind the fret back. You may actually be able to see the pitch change. And you certainly start to get chord forms where if you play them, not really right up behind the frets, that you'll start getting stuff a little out of tune and it just doesn't sound good. So really pay attention as you're doing this, that you're getting the right finger spread and getting your fingers right behind the frets as you're playing. Okay, so that was 80. Let's just go up one click. 84. 1 and 2 and C Major Segovia. Good. Let's do 88. 1 and 2 and ready, go, and 92. 1 and 2 and ready, go. '96. Let's go. 1 and 2 and ready, go, and wrong note there. That's where you would go back and slow down. Okay, you make a mistake, back up. I'm gonna keep going for the sake of this video. We'll just play that one again and play it correctly. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Okay, it's 96. Let's go to 100. Now, as you're doing this, watch your left hand. When you pick up a finger off of a note, does it tend to fly way off the fretboard? Or does it hover over the fretboard? You want it to hover over the fretboard just off the strings. You don't want it flying way off. It's called fly away, and it really slows you down. The only way to fix that is to concentrate on it and do exercises where you pay attention and try really hard. Even just sit on one string and practice lifting that finger just off the fret and holding everything else still. Alright, let's do our scale, but as you're playing these, pay attention and try to correct these problems when you're practicing your scales. Okay, this is 100 beats a minute. 1 and 2 and ready, go, and 104. Wait. I'm doing a lot of practice on this because I really want you to learn this form. 112. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. 116. Okay, 120. 1 2, and ready, go. One 26. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Good. 120, 132. 1 and 2 and ready, go. One 38. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Good. 144. 1 and 2 and ready, go. How you doing with these? Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and ready, go. So half of 144 would be 72. Let's roll it down to 72. Okay, sounds slower, but we're going to do 16th notes instead of 8th notes. So 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go E and a. Okay, 76. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go E and a. Let's go to 80. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Okay, let's keep going. 84. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Okay, how you doing? Let's keep going. 88. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready and a go and. Yeah, it's getting fairly quick, especially for beginners. So I'm going to stop there, but you get the idea. And by the way, I want you to notice that I was able to change between the beats really quickly using one of these dial metronomes. If you have some digital metronome where you have to sit there and futz around with a bunch of buttons to change the beat, you're going to lose the groove of what you're doing while you're trying to practice and ladder these speeds up. Get a metronome like this and work on filling a jar with batteries. I happen to have a little thing here. I put my batteries in and I'm up to about here on this one now. My goal is to fill this with metronome batteries. Okay, it says I'm working on my timing a lot. It's a good thing. It'll help you a lot. It really will. It's why I'm doing this. All right, that is the scale of the day. And by the way, I forgot to note my attire today. This is my Taylor guitar of the day. I told you that at the beginning. I've got my Taylor t-shirt, and these Taylors are made in San Diego. Scale of the day.